1884 AD, 5778 AM. In the 1056th year since England's first king was enthroned, in 828 AD, the Greenwich Observatory in England was chosen as the 0-degree prime meridian, longitudinal, despite the vehement protests of Astronomer Royal for Scotland, Charles Piazzi Smyth, who argued correctly that the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt was the original pre-flood 0-degree true geodesic marker of the Old World. All longitudinal lines should be reckoned by the location of Giza, for the structure was recognised in antiquity as the, quote, middle of the Earth's, unquote, geographical landmasses. In Washington, D.C., the Internation Meridian Conference officially set the prime meridian of longitude for the Earth through Greenwich, England. The French sculptor in this year finished the Statue of Liberty in France, his name being Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. Also, the Washington Monument was erected at 555 foot high, 6660 inches, a gigantic obelisk emblematic of the United States pedigree as the descendants of the Israelites of ancient Egypt. Atop the obelisk in Washington, D.C. is a pyramid of 13 courses of bricks that symbolise the 13 colonies that became the USA, while also symbolising the 13 tribes of Ephraim, Israel. This is the 108th year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Also in 1884, the first steel-framed superstructures herald the age of the skyscraper. This year was 3,330 years after the exodus of Israel from Egypt, or 666 times 5 years. Interestingly, this year is 156 years to the 2040 AD global disasters caused by planet Phoenix, or 1872 months, this being 144 times 13. Astronomers report that a Mercury-sized planet or object passed through the inner solar system. The Smithsonian Bureau of Ethnology reported the discovery of a stone structure in a mound in Kanawha County, West Virginia, that yielded the remains of a skeleton measuring 7 foot 6 inches tall with a 19-inch chest. A large mound near Gasterville, PA, was excavated, and found within was a vault carved with unknown inscriptions containing a huge 7 foot 2 inch human skeleton. Fossils of human and human giants were excavated from a cavern coal mine in Pas-de-Calais, France. Found also were cave pictures of humans fighting gigantic monsters. The Cunard liner Etruria was built, the largest ship in the world. On November the 6th, near the Russian frontier at Katowice, the first International Assembly of Jews met, from many nations and backgrounds, determined to work in concert to colonise Palestine. This is 186 years to the resurrection event in 2070 AD, the end of the 3,000 years that began in 931 BC, with the split between Israel and Judah, when Israel and Judah will be reunited. 1. The treasure of René Le Chateau, a mystery solved. 2. Lost cities of North and Central America. 4. Secret cities of Old South America. 5. Iron Curtain over America. 1885 AD, 5779 AM. The Washington Monument is formally dedicated in a ceremony. A volcanic island, Falcon Island, emerged from the sea. Neville discovered an inscription that proves that the site he had been excavating was indeed the ancient Egyptian treasure city of Pithom, famous in the Bible. At midnight on February the 24th, at latitude 37 north and longitude 170 east between Yokohama and Victoria, the captain and crew of the Inowitch noticed the sky turn red in a matter of minutes, before, quote, all at once a large mass of fire appeared over the vessel, completely blinding the spectators, unquote. The fiery mass fell into the sea, its size judged by the amount of displaced water, which almost knocked over the ship. On August 27th, a large triangular vessel was seen flying through the skies, stopping in mid-air slowly and then gently increasing in speed as it vanished high into the sky. 1. Ages in Chaos, Volume 1. 2. Book of the Damned. 1886 AD, 5780 AM. World-famous Coca-Cola was first sold at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta, Georgia. The Statue of Liberty was sent by ship to New York City from Rouen, France, in 214 packing crates, and the statue is placed in New York Harbour on Bedloe Island, formerly owned by Jacob Bedloe. The statue was dedicated in 1886, exactly 3672 years, 1224 times 3, this being exactly half of the entire Great Pyramid timeline, from 5239 BC to 2106 AD, being 7344 years after the birth of Jacob, who becomes Israel. The statue is dedicated and constructed with 168 steps inside it from base to head, and then there are 54 rungs of a ladder leading up through the arm of the torch. These steps and rungs add up to 222. This architecture constructed in 1884 AD, exactly 222 years before 2106 AD, when the chief cornerstone defeats the Anunnaki at Armageddon for the deliverance of humanity. 168 steps years from 1884 is the year 2052 AD, when the 7 kings of the Anunnaki return via the dark satellite and reign over mankind in a global empire, the subject of Descent of the 7 Kings. This empire will endure for 54 years until it is crushed by the Saviour. The 54 rungs lead up to the torch held by Lady Liberty, or more anciently Lady Semiramis, Queen of Babylon. During these 54 years, mankind will lose all their liberties and be reduced to slaves of the Anunnaki until they are defeated by the light of the world in 2106 AD, the torch. Also in this year, the Slavonic Enoch text is discovered from the archives of the Belgrade Public Library, entitled The Secrets of Enoch. This further demonstrates the prophetic value of the Enochian writings, which claim that in the last days they would be discovered and translated into the known languages of the world. The Enochian books both tell of the Watchers Anunnaki, who rebelled against God, enslaved mankind, and would lose a war against their maker. The Statue of Liberty was erected in the 260th year since New Amsterdam was taken by the British from the Dutch and renamed New York in 1626, 260 years being 52 times 5. This year marks the last official sighting of a large moon-like object near Venus, first seen and recorded in 1645. The Apache chief Geronimo was captured, ending his war against the United States. By this date, since around 1867, almost 500,000 Swedes had migrated to the United States and Canada. Brazilian slaves in the Paraíba province discovered a Phoenician text containing a 2-year voyage from the Red Sea involving 10 ships that rounded Africa and by storms landed in Brazil, quote, in the 19th year of Hiram, our mighty king, unquote. This would have been approximately 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. Having diligently studied the prophetic records of the Bible and world history, Dr. Grattan Guinness predicted that in, quote, the year 1917, Jerusalem would be delivered, unquote. This is incredible, for in 1917, Jerusalem was indeed delivered by the British from the Turks. 1. Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center disaster. 2. Cataclysm. 3. March of the Titans. 4. The Lost Treasure of King Juba. 5. Andrew Adams, quoted by William Dankenbring in Prophecy Flash, Volume 23.